This is wonderful. Thanks so much for being here on a Friday afternoon before a holiday. We're delighted to see you all. This is really a momentous occasion for the Organic Trade Association, and we're just delighted that you're here and that you took this time to celebrate with us. I think that as I look about and see so many familiar faces out there, it's a wonderful opportunity for us as the Organic Trade Association is celebrating its 25th year. So this is very exciting for us in this year to come to Vermont. As a person that was born here in Vermont, it's a great opportunity for me to come home, but the staff does keep me down in Washington. We do have a Washington, D.C. office, as the Senator well knows, and it's very important due to the political work that we do from a legislative and regulatory standpoint. So thank you so much. I want to give you a little bit of background on how we got here, because many of you have been asking that question today, and I will tell you it was it wasn't something that we, as we say, threw darts at the wall and made a decision. As much as I've always wanted to be in Vermont, we actually, this was a very well thought out move for us, and there was much discussion about, like most trade associations, being headquartered in Washington, D.C. But we feel very strongly that our strength is out here where the organic agriculture base is, and that's what really leads everything in our decision-making processes of what we do, especially from a legislative and regulatory standpoint. So being out here in the field is really critical to us as we move forward and evolve with the rapidly evolving organic industry. So we had looked at several options and looked at staying in Greenfield and looked at going to Washington and looked at coming to Vermont. But I will tell you that in the end, Vermont was so welcoming to us and provided a grant from the Vermont Economic Progress Council that really made it possible for us to make this move. So I really want to thank the state of Vermont for that, because that really has enabled us to come here, and I'm just thrilled and very thankful for that opportunity. I want to take a minute. We do have really just thrilled. We're thrilled all of you are here, but I want to take a couple minutes and introduce some celebrity people in the audience, and I would like to start by thanking and welcoming the Vermont Secretary of Agriculture, Roger Albee. Where are you, Roger?
Here, Roger.
There's Roger. Thank you, Roger. Roger has been a tremendous supporter of organic agriculture for a long time, and we appreciate all your efforts over the years. Thank you so much. The next person that I especially want to thank is Fred Kenney. Fred is the executive director of that Vermont Economic Development Council, and it's he and his team that provided not only the know-how, but the know-how. He also provided all the technical advice that we needed to through that Vermont Growth Initiative application process, which was not a one-pager, I want to assure you. So thank you. Where are you? I'm right here. You're I just also want to acknowledge Jeff Lewis, who's the executive director of the Brattleboro Development Credit Corporation. There he is. Okay. And I'm thrilled to finally make the acquaintance of Ellen McCulloch-Lovell, the president of Marlboro College, and we are just, as she and I have been talking, we are so thrilled to be in this location. We did look at a number of locations, and this is just the best possible world for us to be in. So thank you so much. We're just delighted. And I will tell you, there is just no organic event in Vermont, or frankly anywhere else, that would be complete without Senator Leahy. So we are thrilled today to have Vermont Senator Patrick Leahy with us. And as you know, that he was chairman of the Senate Agriculture Committee, and he wrote and passed the Organic Foods Product Production Act as part of the 1990 Farm Bill. I can't believe it. We're already working on the next Farm Bill. It seems like we just finished the last one and we're already working on the next one. So there's no end to farm bills, I will tell you. So really, there's no better champion for organic in Washington than Senator Leahy. He is our go-to person, and he has just been an enormous help to this industry. And I don't care if you're in this industry in California or Texas or wherever you are, everyone knows that he is the person that you go to on organic issues in Washington. And he has helped this industry grow when it was growing at a rate of 22% a year, and when it, as they say, fell off a cliff and only was growing at a rate of 5% a year. So, but I am happy to report, Senator, that we are back on the upswing in the growth, and it's looking really positive for the organic industry as it continues to evolve and expand. I would tell you that the Senator has had a long-time relationship with OTA, and he was the first recipient of OTA's Organic Leadership Award in 1997, and he was also the first recipient of OTA's Public Servant Award. He is the only person, and we have like 1,500 members and all kinds of heroes in this industry, but he is the only person who has ever received both awards. So I think that's a testament to how the whole industry across the nation recognizes all of your contributions. So, thank you again from me for being here today. We're just delighted that you're here, and I'm now going to turn it over to Fred Kenney from the Vermont Economic Progress Council to say a few words. Fred?
Thank you, Christine. Senator, great to see you again. On behalf of Governor Douglas and the members of the Vermont Economic Progress Council, I want to welcome the Organic Trade Association to Vermont. Some people have been asking me why the state's business incentive program played a part in bringing a not-for-profit association to Vermont. Well, a few years ago, some changes were made to the incentive program so that the incentives could help more with a broader array of economic development projects, whether they be a Vermont business that wants to grow and expand, whether it's a startup with little or no tax liability in their early years, or a research and development company that has no big tax exposure, or a more traditional project where a company is going to locate, like down the road with Commonwealth Dairy. But the focus was taken off of tax liability and put towards job creation and payroll creation. And that's why the incentive program was available to help make this project happen here in Vermont. The association is going to create several very well-paying jobs right here in downtown Brattleboro, and will only have positive impacts for the region and the state. And of course, they're very complementary to Vermont's tradition of agriculture and the working landscape, and what I understand is a growing organic industry here in Vermont. So again, on behalf of Governor Douglas and my board, the Vermont Economic Progress Council, welcome to Vermont. Thank you for choosing Vermont.
Well, I know why you're all here, and I know we're now going to turn it over to the person that you really want to hear from, Senator Leahy. If you could share a few words with us, we would appreciate it.
Thank you. Please. Thank you. Christine, I appreciate what you said. It's nice to see you home. It's nice to have you in Windham County, which is home for you. We have to go up the road a little bit, and fortunately you're going the right direction. You go the other direction, of course you leave the state. So I'm glad you're here. I'm glad that the Organic Trade Association is going to have its home here. I see Secretary Albee. Roger I've known forever and ever. We've worked together on so many agricultural matters. And Roger, this has to be a pretty happy day. I know all of you. Fred Kenney, who worked for me a long time ago in Washington, so he thought maybe I might know the rudiments about being a senator. I could be on my own, and came back, came here. Lovell was my chief of staff, the same thing. She just sort of kicked me out and said, here, I got to go back and run things at home. And so it's great because especially in this, I first got the idea of the organic standards and labeling program from Vermonters. And Christine's heard the story before, and Al and others certainly know it. And incidentally, I do appreciate seeing a couple of Jerry Garcia ties around here. That's an inside joke. And I'll tell you a story about that afterward. But we put together the 1990 Farm Bill. I remember when we passed that, it was considered by Time Magazine as the most progressive environmental bill of that year. And we're there for President George H.W. Bush, the first President Bush, was signing, and they have it on very thick paper, so it's about this high. And he just signs one page, and just before the signing, he leans to me, he whispers, he said, Patrick, you read every page of this? I said, Mr. President, you're the one signing it. I read just about as much of it as you did. And he cracked up. Everybody wanted to know in the press what it was we were laughing about, and today you finally know. But back then it was considered a crunchy program of some sort, and then it was a corporate, then it was all points apart. Well, when I first started writing this, and really did come from talking to farmers here in Vermont saying, we're willing to do these standards, we're willing to do what's right, but please set some national standards so that people want to compete. We'll compete with anybody, provided it's a level playing field, provided everybody else has to follow the rules. And now we walk through the aisles, any grocery store in the country, you see organic products, and the Organic Trade Association, their dedication to expand this market. You folks go and you watch that. And it's like the old underwear ad, it doesn't say Hanes, so I say it's a Hanes. It doesn't say organic until it is organic. And Tom Berry and Chuck Ross and John Tracy from my office are wondering, where was that in the talking points? Well, we've got to get back to the talking points, we do have a White House that supports organic agriculture. Our last farm bill had record funding for organics. The Deputy Secretary of Agriculture at USDA, Kathleen Merrigan, was working for me and led the efforts in writing that part of the bill. And in fact, the 20th anniversary of the Organic Farm Bill is this month, and I will put on, at least temporarily, my old hat as chairman, and I will chair a Senate Agriculture Committee hearing on September 15th to hear about organic agriculture's future. I must tell you, it's going to be a good hearing. And so I look at this, I look what you've done here, and I think of Marlboro College. Let me just brag a little bit on Ellen McCulloch-Lovell, the president of it. I mean, I knew her when I had hair and hers wasn't quite as great. But I know how hard she worked when she was in Washington. I know how hard she works here. And I think that her vision and her influence and Marlboro's influence under her leadership is going to be helpful to this movement. And Fred, what you and the Vermont Economic Progress Council has done is so important. You're making sure that it's not a one-stop thing, that something lasts afterward, and that there will be not only jobs, but it's going to make everything better. So with all that, I will skip the other talking points, but just to say this makes me so happy because those of you who were there 20 years ago know what we had to fight to get this through. we know I remember Jesse Helms telling the former chairman who wouldn't let it go forward when he was chairman, and when I became chairman we could, telling me, well, you know, that's a bitching. You won't have $10,000 worth of business. What are you doing all this time? It's how many billions now? And so it is worthwhile. And so thank you all. David, thank you for the time. And it's great to be home.
Thank you so much, Senator Leahy. You know what, we are just thrilled to officially be your constituent. So now we are going to have the official signing that will bring us under your wing, under your roof here at the college. So Dave Gagnon, if you would please join Ellen and sign the official document.
Yes, and I would be so proud to have all of you join us.
Oh, great.
Come and be part of the ceremony and the photograph, please, and Marcel.
Well, just make sure you sign right here.
Have you read all this?
Mr. President, I've read as much as you have.
All right. So now we're official.
We're official.
And I have a great pleasure to give you some last words. As a president of Marlboro College, I'm just so happy to greet everybody here. This is one of these very rare times in life, and one of these wonderful times in life when your life comes around in a circle. And I said to the senator and to Marcel earlier, it's like a Leahy family reunion. So warm welcome to you, Senator, and to Marcel, Secretary Albee, Fred Kenney. We worked together for so many years. Jeff Lewis, Christine Bushway, and Dave Gagnon, and so many other people who have brought us to this day. And Senator Leahy remembers, I think, when we started the Marlboro College Graduate Center in 1997. And the whole idea was innovation. We were going to be an incubator space. We were going to provide new ideas that would enhance the local community and the society as a whole. And back then, the idea was innovation in the internet. And now, the really exciting ideas are coming to us from people who are finding ways to make our society more sustainable, healthier, and more community-oriented. And these are the very characteristics that are shared by your many, many members at the Organic Trade Association. So the Organic Trade Association actually fits the Marlboro College Graduate School mission so beautifully, because we've evolved programs, an MBA in managing for sustainability, in healthcare administration, and even in nonprofit management that you can contribute to. And Senator Leahy, I do remember all those, since it's an anniversary time, I do remember when we were being called crunchy, and very proud of it as devoted Vermonters.
They never called me a long-haired hippie.
No, I got that label. But when we were working on the legislation, you really you had the vision, and you saw the possibilities, you saw the trend, and how important it was going to be to Vermont and to the future of Vermont agriculture, as Secretary Albee has also seen. So a few other thank yous. I want to thank Dan Cotter, Marlboro College's Director of Plant Operations, for his part in making this lease possible, along with Dave. Richard Glazier, our new Dean of Faculty and of Graduate Education, and Sean Conley, the Associate Dean of the Graduate School. because they're going to do all they can to reinforce the important work of OTA educationally. We're excited that this is your headquarters, but we hope our relationship develops into much more than a tenant relationship as we work together for the future of Vermont and the country.
Terrific.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here.